That's right, it is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on the airwaves. It's Mark Edge with you.
And Aria.
That's right. You can call in and talk about whatever you want. The number is 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160, because here on Free Talk Live, that's what we do. So, Aria, I've been looking through the news today, and I think the most interesting thing to me is this story about the Wuhan lab. So,
right. The whole, is it a lab leak or is it not thing, right?
Right. And so, you have to take this in context, and it's quite possible that people listening to me don't understand what the context of the whole situation was. So, when all of this started, people began to speculate, where did COVID come from? And it certainly started, or at least it's claimed that it started in Wuhan, which is a province or a state or a segment of China. And some people speculated that since there's the Wuhan Institute of Virology,
right, where they study coronaviruses in bats, while we were told that this coronavirus originated with a bat.
Yes. And let's not forget that some of the most deadly forms of flu are avian and swine flu. They come from animals. And so a bat virus, did I say flu and coronavirus in sort of the same sentence? I must be a Trump lover. This is how quickly the whole virus went from, hey, this virus is killing people, to political football, right? You couldn't compare one virus to another virus, meaning the coronavirus to the flu virus, in any way.
No, or to a cold.
Right. Well, I mean, the cold is a coronavirus.
Sure.
And the cold,
which would make the comparison even more sensible if one could make it.
Sure. And just saying the word flu, especially on Facebook, would result in a banning. It was amazing how crazy people were. People unfriended me over literally saying that this disease was becoming a political football. Not which team I was playing for or anything like that, just it's a political football. And let's not get too excited here. Viruses kill people all the time in the United States. And
they do. I know many people who have had COVID-19, myself among them, you among them. And I don't know anyone that it's killed, other than my sister's ex-husband's father, who, did die, but he was also 60-something years old and morbidly obese with diabetes and several underlying health conditions.
I'm relatively healthy. I'm at the time of contracting the coronavirus, I weighed about 195 pounds, 50 years old, and it kind of knocked me on my butt. There was no moment when I thought I was going to die, but it presumably killed a longtime caller, Christian anarchist, on the show.
Oh, that's true.
And I'm not saying that the virus isn't deadly. I'm not saying any of those things. What I'm saying is that we needed to keep all of this in perspective. And the people who seemed to come most unglued also were the people that wanted to elect Biden. And then there was a large correlation between this virus is deadly and I want to elect Biden, and a large correlation between this virus is fake nonsense and I want to re-elect Donald Trump. Where, in fact, my position is I would have liked to have seen Joe Jorgensen become president.
Sure. That would have been much better than Joe Biden.
And this virus shouldn't be used as a way to reset the world, put every man, woman, and child under house arrest without habeas corpus, and rob us of all our rights. That's my position. Now,
well, at least here in New Hampshire, the actual stay-at-home order wasn't really a stay-at-home order. It was more of a suggestion, and it was a very weak suggestion at that, which included all sorts of things like whatever you deem to be essential is essential. So, but that's New Hampshire. A lot of the states actually did say, hey, no, we're implementing curfews. You have to be at home at 10 o'clock at night, and if you're in violation of that, you'll get arrested or fined or whatever.
Sure, but you could go out, but where could you go? I mean, true enough.
Well, we went to Central Square.
You could jog, or you could go to, at a park, they could have chosen to say, somebody could have sent out, one of the city officials could have sent out their goon squad and said, this park's closed, you must get out. And they chose not to.
Well, they did that in some places in New Hampshire. Like in Concord, they closed down a playground and attempted to ticket some parents whose kids were playing there.
They did. I guess it's what I would say is that there were, in the United States, better places and worse places surrounding your freedoms, and that the best of those places was certainly not New Hampshire, and the worst of those places was certainly not New Hampshire. I spent a good portion of Corona time in Florida, and it was better than New Hampshire, hands down, and still is.
Well, they never had a mask mandate, did they?
I don't know if they ever had a mask mandate, but I can tell you that most people at a time in Florida, in Sarasota, Florida, were wearing masks.
People are still wearing masks here in Keene. It's so curious, right? Because the mandate finally expired 2 days ago, or yesterday, actually.
Is that an outdoor mandate or just a mandate generally?
It was the mandate that required, businesses to require people to wear masks in the city of Keene. I don't know. It's long and stupid. I don't know the exact legal requirement that it created, but it lifted yesterday, and there are still people running around in masks.
Well, a mask isn't intended to protect you, it's to protect other people, so it is, in fact, virtue signaling. Like, I understand that
Well, they backpedaled on that, didn't they? Didn't they come out and say, oh, yeah, we were wrong. It turns out that the masks do offer the wearer some level of protection from COVID-19.
Well, sure, it offers the wearer some level of protection. But, this is when scientists and mathematicians use terminology like likely or some or unlikely. They mean entirely different things than what average people use when they... So
sure, some is really vague. It could be anywhere from 0.1% to 99%.
Or even lower than 0.1%.
Yes.
Now, and wearing a mask offers some protection to the people in the room. And this is true. Like people in an enclosed room, it provides some level of protection. Now, does that mean it will protect them? No! It does not mean it will protect them. You do not want to be in a room with a person with COVID-19, whether they have a mask on or not.
On that note, whether or not masks are going to protect people, you remember I sent you a few days ago a screenshot of a friend of mine who was just, freaking out about the mask nonsense and talking about...
Oh, that was a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Crying into his pillow.
Yes.
If people didn't wear masks outside at the Keene graduation.
Yes, but it gets worse than this because a business just opened up here in Keene. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's opened by recycled percussion. I don't know anything about them, but they opened a business here, and the crowds were enormous. Hundreds of people showed up, all of them wearing masks, because the mask is the most obvious symbol, but the social distancing is really the thing that would have mattered for preventing the spread of COVID-19.
Sure.
And
but they don't do that.
The masks were only supposed to be used if you couldn't maintain social distance. But the whole social distancing thing, it was just talked about. It never actually occurred anywhere as far as I can tell.
I've seen social distancing occur. I can say that I did. But, there's far too many people huddled together. And the thing is that I'd be very curious how many people caught COVID-19 from a complete stranger that they were in a business with, and that person was or wasn't wearing a mask or whatever. Because the vast majority of people out there who are catching COVID-19 are catching it in medical facilities. And by the way, that's how we got ours. As one of the workers at Free Talk Live had to go to a medical facility, and
seems likeliest.
Yeah,
that's
most
how we
likely.
got it.
And medical facilities, family, co-workers, people they spend a lot of time around, or people that are in places where, diseases are transferred. Your thoughts on this subject are welcome, or any other for that matter. The number 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 here on Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever is on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Arya.
Yeah, the number is 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. And currently we're talking about,
we're talking about tech issues. I don't think we're broadcasting on terrestrial radio. Westwood One has probably already switched over to running a refeed or something like that. They're experiencing major packet loss from us, which means we're sending stuff to them, and for whatever reason, they're not receiving it. I mean, we're receiving stuff from them just fine, and we just tested my internet. My internet is blazingly fast.
Yeah, 500 megs down.
And 20 up while doing, all of this stuff.
Streaming.
Yeah.
So
the issue is certainly not on our end, but there is an issue somewhere, and it seems like the best course of action is to allow the people there at the studio to take over the production. So
let them do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get done. I'm just waiting on Bonnie to begin speaking, essentially, so that we know that she's there. Evidently, it's only 3% packet loss, but it's still unlistenable. I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on there because, we had this issue this morning with LRN.FM and Ernie not being able to connect to the show. He was able to hear it, but when he tried to speak, there was 100% packet loss for him. And I don't know why that happened. I assumed it was his internet connection because he's Ernie. And
well, he's traveling around in a bus around the United States trying to prevent people from getting vaccine shots or something.
I'm not exactly sure what he's doing, but he is driving around in the love bus, as it were. And he's obviously not with a reliable internet connection.
Yeah.
So I assumed that was the issue and didn't think anything about it. Of course, I had to go to work for 8 hours today, but came back here and it turns out, no, there may be an actual issue there at the other studio that I can't go to in order to fix. So it's... Yeah,
all right.
Thank you, Bonnie.